Hey everyone, how you all doing? Hope you're doing well, or at least better than Jon Snow, who's been bleeding out in the snow, on the wall, for the last 14 years. Anyway, today we're going to talk about George R.R. Martin's absolute crash out on the Winds of Winter. Oh boy, he just dropped a new post on his Not a blog, and yeah, I'm calling it that we're never getting Winds, we're never getting this book, and Dreamer's Spring as well. Just a dream. So welcome back to another Not a blog George R. R. Martin's Winds content slop. So George jumps on the Not a blog, instead of giving us, or starting off with Ice and Fire in Westeros, he's talking about Howard Waldrop's animated movie. It's called A Dozen Tough Jobs, a Hercules story. I mean, cool. Yay for animation, more animu. But this man literally opens the post saying he knows everyone will be pissed about not talking about Ice and Fire, and he does just that. And he's right, because we've been starving in the snow for over a decade now, while George is out here making other side projects that nobody asked for, like Wildcards in the Lost Lands. Howard meets Hercules. Like, who is this for exactly? So he says, I know, some of you will be pissed off by this, as you are by everything I announce here that is not Westeros or the Winds of Winter. You have given up on me or on the book. I will never finish Winds. If I do, I will never finish A Dreamer's Spring. Yeah, we're definitely not getting Dreamer's Spring. I don't know what he's saying there. If I do, it won't be any good. I ought to get some other writer to pinch hit from me. I'm going to die soon anyway, because oh Jesus, that's so harsh. I think that's awful when people do say that. I lost interest in Ice and Fire decades ago. I don't think that's true. I don't give a shit about writing any longer. Yikes. I just sat around and spent my money. I edit the Wildcard books too, but you hate Wildcards. The thing is, very, very few people like Wildcards. I'd be more interested in seeing George R. R. Martin play Fortnite than read any more Wildcards. You may hate everything else I've ever written. The Hugo winners, the Hugo losers, A Song for Leia, Dying of the Light, Sand Kings, Beauty and the Beast. I'm too young for Beauty and the Beast. The Tower of Ashes, The Stone City, The Old Mars, Old Venus, Rogues, Warriors, and Dangerous Women. Bro's just crashing out here fully. And all other anthologies I edited with my friends Gardner. You don't care about any of these, I know. You don't care about anything but Winds. You've told me so often. So I think he's just like read a bunch of Twitter or Reddit threads or comments. I do remember, I think you could be able to comment on this Not a blog. You don't do anymore. Things is, I do care about them. I do care about Westeros and Winds as well. The Starks, the Lanners, the Targs, Tyrion, Asha, Dany, and Daenerys. Why is that split there? Dany and Daenerys? Anyway, the dragons and the direwolves, I care about them all more than you can ever imagine. Bro, don't get me started on the direwolves. That stuff is just like clickbait. If you actually look into the colossal biosciences, like direwolf's backstory, it's pretty misleading. Like, what they actually did was edit, 14 genes in the Grey Wolves to give them a few traits that resemble the direwolves, like size and color, but these animals are still almost entirely Grey Wolves and not direwolves. Genetically, they're now nowhere near the real extinct species. Like, real direwolves went extinct about 10,000 years ago, and their DNA is so degraded that scientists can't even reconstruct a full genome, let alone clone one. So true de-extinction just isn't possible with the current science. I think I remember reading somewhere that even their lead scientist eventually admitted that these animals are just Grey Wolves with 20 edits. And all these like clickbaited headlines were just, clickbait, and then there's George added all into this mess too. Just a little bit too hyped. So yeah, it's like cool to call it de-extinction, but it's just pretty misleading. They pretty much just gave a dog pointy ears and saying, hey, we brought back the saber-toothed tiger. But I guess doing this clickbait like drives more funding and donations, so overhyping scientific works is a bit of a thing. to get people more interested in it. They're also a private company at the end of the day, trying to increase revenue. So let's get Gurm involved. I'm sure he's not busy doing other things. Okay, so from the fans' perspective, from where I'm at, I'm still at the end of dance. Jon Snow has been Julius Caesared by the Night's Watch, stabbed, dying, bleeding. Bro's been frozen there for 14 damn years. I guess in the HBO show, which only had 3 good seasons. Melisandre bringing him back, we got to see that, but the books haven't even made it to that scene yet, bro. Daenerys is still doing absolutely nothing in Essos and being an absolute bore. Arya's doing her Faceless Man internship, which still drags on. And what the hell's Bran doing out there sipping tree sap? Sucking on tree sap? With the three-eyed crow, three-eyed raven. Meanwhile, like, George is posting about film festivals. Also, let's not forget that the man said this series would be 7 books. It's nearly been 30 years since A Game of Thrones, and he's been stuck on book 6. Like, this isn't just a case of, like, writer's block. He's just so distracted by side projects. He's just so preoccupied, and he's spending more time world building than actually telling the story. So the question is, like, should he appoint an heir or get someone to help him with? Yeah, he should have, like, a Roman consul with him that alternates, especially at this stage if he's really, really struggling. Get someone in now early and rotate it with him, because he just needs help. He needs some more support. You know what's funny? George actually acknowledges the hate in this post, saying he knows people think he's lost interest in writing and he's just sitting on a mountain of money surrounded by Wildcards, paperbacks and Hugo trophies. I hate how much I agree with this, that he's sitting on a mountain of money, yeah. I don't think he's necessarily lost interest in writing. I think he's just sort of struggling. Look, I love Meat House Man, just because of how messed up it is. But we just want more Ice and Fire, bro. We've been left on narrative red for over a decade. And then we're out here just refreshing this blog to see if Jon Snow's going to get his life saved. But at this point, yeah, we're not getting wins. Or we're not getting A Dream of Spring as full, fleshed out books. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. Hope you've enjoyed the Gurm, not a blog, content slop. Let me know if you're still holding out hopes and dreams. Have you accepted, like me, that Jon Snow's going to be in limbo forever? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Oh yeah, stay tuned for more random Ice and Fire videos where we chat about the books and stuff, and George R.R. Martin generally. Go check out my CK3 GOT content. We've got a bunch of roleplay. We've got a really cool Valar Targaryen series playing as the Promised Prince that survives the Great Plague. We've got Edmure after season 7. We've got Bronn the Blackwater, who inherits Highgarden in a run. And then we get, if Tommen survives and ends up having a son Tywin Baratheon and a great-grandson Tyget going around killing dragons. Or Meleys the Monstrous taking the Iron Throne. Those are some really, really cool runs. But anyway, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.